Hi, welcome back. This is Jim Mann with Homestyle Southern Cooking, and I've got another recipe for you for the holidays. This is one of my favorite. You can do it in the holidays, but I do it year-round. It's a cheesecake, but it's a pecan pie cheesecake. So let's get started. We need to make the crust first. People think making a cheesecake is really difficult, but it's not. It's very simple, okay? So I've got my food processor right here. You can use any cookie you want. You can use graham cracker if you want to, whatever. I chose to use a biscotti cookie because they're very, very rich, okay? And what you want to end up when we get through is we want around 3 cups of crumbs. So I've got my biscotti in there. I've got about a half a cup of pecans I'm gonna put in here. And I've got the sugar, but I'll put that in later, and a butter. But right now, I'm going to mix this up for you. Okay, I want to make sure that's good and blended. And then I'm going to dump this in my bowl and get rid of some of this stuff. Okay, to this I'm going to add 1/3 cup of sugar, and I've got about, I would say, all but 1 teaspoon of butter. This is almost a whole stick of butter I'm putting in here. And the reason why I'm putting the butter in here, this will just hold it together. Okay, it's kind of like the glue. And the next, I actually like to get in there and actually mix this up with my hands. And you see when it holds together it's still really not totally held together, but it makes this makes it hold together in the pan. Okay, what I did before I came online, I took my springform pan and I actually took one and I actually made a crust up. What I did is I took the crust and I put it in the middle, and then I pushed it out in the middle, and then I went around and pulled some up on the side. You want to pull some up on the side all the way around, so you have a little side crust. My oven's set on 300 degrees. I'm going to put this in the oven for 8 minutes. The reason why I'm not baking it, I'm just making sure to give the butter a chance to melt. So I'm going to put this in my oven at 300 degrees for 8 minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay, it's been 8 minutes, so I'm going to get my springform pan out of the oven. And what that has done, that has just melted the butter to hold this together. So I'm going to let this cool for a few minutes. In the meantime, while I'm letting this cool, I'm going to get the ingredients ready to do part 2. So I'll be right back. We've got our fabulous pie crust done, and now I've got the ingredients to actually make the filling for the cheesecake. So we're going to do that now. So this is actually step 2. I've got my KitchenAid out. I've got 5 blocks of cream cheese, and these are softened. They're at room temperature that I'm going to put in here as 4 and number 5. Now, when I put these on the blender here, we don't want to over blend the cream cheese, because a lot of time when you over blend the cream cheese, what makes the cheesecake have a lot of bubbles or makes it crack a lot. So we're not going to do that. So for right now, I'm just going to take this. I'm going to put this on my mixer. Put my paddle blade on. Lift it up, and I'm just going to cream it real gently. All right, then I'm going to add 1 1/3 cups of sugar. And you want to stop it ever so often to let it down, and make sure you scrape the sides down really good, because you want to make sure that none of that sugar has stuck to the sides there. You want to make sure that it's all well incorporated, but at the same respect, you want to make sure that it's well blended but not over blended. Put it back down again and scrape it. This is a secret to getting a cheesecake that doesn't crack. Okay, now I've got that blended enough to start with. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I've got 4 eggs here. And these should be at room temperature also. That I don't have to worry about, because I can go in the back and just get the eggs fresh, and so I know they're at room temperature. But anyhow, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this, I'm going to turn it back on low, lift it up, turn it back on low, and I'm going to add 1 egg at a time. Let that blend up a little bit until it's completely blended. Then I'll add another egg. Let that blend until it's completely blended. Okay, it's at this point that I will stop it again. I will scrape down the sides one more time. This smells really good too with the cream cheese. Turn it on low again. I'll add my 4th egg. Let that blend until all the egg disappears. Then I'll add my last egg. While I'm adding that last egg and letting that blend, I'm going to put 1 heaping teaspoon of vanilla in there. And let that blend all the way too. I'm going to stop it again. I'm going to lower it one more time. Don't turn it on yet. All right, now I'm going to turn it off completely. And I'm going to take my blade out of here and get as much off as I can. Don't want to waste any of it. Put that over here. And now I'll get my my crust we made earlier. It's all ready. I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to scrape it down really good once again. Blend around. Then I'm going to pour it right into my pan. My oven is set on 300 degrees. I'll put this in my oven for it's more than likely to be an hour. I'll check it after about 50 minutes to see, but more than likely it's going to be an hour before it's in there. What you want to do is just sort of level this out. It's going to level itself out once it gets hot. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'll put this in the oven, and when it's ready, I'll come back to you. One thing I forgot to add, if you take a tiny bowl and put water in it and put that in the oven first, and then your cheesecake, it'll keep your cheesecake nice and moist and keep it from cracking. Okay, it's been exactly 1 hour, so it's time to get our cheesecake out. Oh my goodness. It's hot. Okay. Now we're at step 2. Okay. So I'm going to set this here and let it cool a little bit, and I'll be back with you for the final step. Okay, we're on phase 3, the last step of our cheesecake. Our cheesecake has been cooling for about 2.5 hours, so it's nice and cool. I've got my unit out here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a half a stick of butter in this pan. To that half a stick of butter, I'm going to add 1 cup of brown sugar. Now I'm going to pour this in here, and I'm just going to keep on stirring this until this melts down, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, you can see in here now my brown sugar and my butter have melted, and they're sizzling. Okay, you have to keep on stirring this. I'm stirring this for about 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, after that, what I'm going to do is I've got 3/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. As you can see, it's really heavy. I'm going to pour that in there. See if I can scrape all this out of here because there's a lot in there. Stir that around a little bit. You have to keep on stirring this. To this, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I mean, come on, it's pecan pie, so you got to have some cinnamon in it. I'm going to add to this about a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm just going to eye it. Stir that around here. And then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of Caro white syrup. Once again, that's what you make a pecan pie out of. So that's what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to stir this around and keep on stirring it until this comes to a bubble. So I'm going to stir this for about 2 or 3 minutes, then I'll come back to you and let you see it. As you can see, it's at a rolling boil right now. That's what it is. I've been stirring it for about 3 or 4 minutes. What I'm going to do now is I've got about 2 cups of pecans. I'm going to pour my pecans right into that. And then I'm going to stir these for about another minute and a half. And I'll be right back. As you can see, the pecans are boiling now also. It's been about a minute. So I'm going to turn the unit off. And we are ready. I've got my cheesecake here. And I'm going to take my pecans and I'm going to pour them right on top of my cheesecake. Now tell me that doesn't look good. It's your pecan pie cheesecake for Christmas or Thanksgiving. And you've got all the ingredients that you need. That is a beautiful, beautiful cheesecake. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you'll try it. Please like me on Facebook. And if you like this, please like it. And also on YouTube, if you'll subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate it. I appreciate your support and you're always being there for me, letting me into your home. Thanks so much. It was a fun day me doing this for you. Until next time, I'm Jim Mann saying take care of yourself and God bless.